20th. It is the week of Christmas 2021. This is the weekly tap in. I'm your host, Duane Cofield. Man, I certainly appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. Week before Christmas or the week of Christmas. We're moving into our season 3, man. That's 3 seasons down, yo. 3 seasons down. Before we even get there, man, make sure you put your city where you tapping in from. We appreciate it. We appreciate our sponsors, hairlivery.com, medtoursla.com. You see I'm representing with my shirt, my hair livery shirt, medtoursla.com, LA's cannabis experience tour, and also Cheryl's Famous Fried Chicken. If you need catering, please tap in with those sponsors. We would certainly appreciate it. But make sure you put your city, man, so we can give you a shout out, man. We got people listening. I can go on and on, man. We got Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Tennessee, um, you name it, man. Indiana, Peoria, Illinois. Just put your city, man, where you tapping in from. We certainly appreciate you. So this week, man, we talking about one of the things that Jay Prince talked about, man. I think, like I talked about that a little earlier. I said, man, a lot of my friends turn me down for interviews, and understandably so. I mean, if you feeling some type of way about the past, or you're like, nah, I ain't gonna put myself out there. But I reached out to Jay Prince, who's a really big deal, and he said, yeah. And what's going on, Samuel? And one of the things I've learned, though, homie, over time, like even in sales and life, go after the big stuff. Like, don't play around. Don't sell yourself short. Go after the big stuff, because the big stuff is probably going to say, yeah, the little stuff will turn you off. And a lot of times, the reason why it's turning you off is to turn you on to the big stuff, right? The things that you're supposed to have. What's up, Fifth Ward Steven, man? I hope you're feeling better, homie. Appreciate you giving me a shout out, man, when you was in your position, man. But I hope you're feeling better, homie. I certainly do, man. I was praying for you, and prayer works, brother. So yeah, um, you know, hey, man, one of the things I'll talk about is the when you go after you're more intimidated. I will say that. You're like, dude, they're probably gonna say no. It's like that girl who you really want. Like that's who I married. So I got lucky in that sense, right? It was the girl I really wanted. And at first they'll say no. You know what I'm saying? So just understand rejection is part of the process. They're gonna say no at first. Why? Because they don't even understand what's getting ready to happen a lot of times. Your dreams and your destinies have no idea. I'm reading this Will Smith book. Let me show you guys. It's dope too. This isn't the real cover. Like, this is taking the sleeve off, but he talks about Quincy Jones and when he actually got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air interview. I mean, the audition, and it was just kind of serendipitous. And he talks about that and how Quincy Jones talks about the universe and magic, right? And how you can create these things. Like, this chapter is called The Alchemist, right? And he's a big Alchemist fan. If you haven't read the book by Paulo Coelho, I encourage you to read. It's a slow burn, so it's hard to kind of keep up, but it is fire. I'm trying to tell you. But anyways, what he talks about in here is he talks about how Quincy Jones called him, and Benny Medina. He met Benny Medina. His girl first, he was depressed and living in Marina Del Rey, owed the IRS like $300,000. Then moved in with this girl, Marina Del Rey. She kept telling him to go down to the Arsenio Hall show to hang out because he was starting to become, Fresh Prince and all that stuff was done. So he goes down, Arsenio Hall show, hangs out, runs into Benny Medina, who was a record exec at Warner Brothers, who happened to know his hip hop. And they, exchange stuff. And he was like, all right, cool. I got this stuff coming down the line. I'll call you. Do you know how to act? That's what he asked first. He said, do you know how to act? He was like, at that point, he was like, whenever somebody asks you something, I think I told you guys some of this story last, but I'll tell you more detail because it was dope. And so Benny Medina, he meets Benny Medina, and Benny Medina, goes on. Months go by. He's getting ready to go on tour. Tour manager says Quincy Jones is on the phone, wants to talk to you. Quincy Jones then talked to Benny Medina, and they're developing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So he's like, man, come on out to my house. I'm having a party, et cetera, et cetera. And at this time, he's not even knowing he's about to audition. He goes down and he, he's chilling at the party, and all these NBC execs are in the house and all this good stuff. So Quincy Jones like, all right, cool. At Motor Furniture, we're about to have an audition. And right then and there, he was like, who's going to audition? He's looking around and he's like, well, you're going to audition. Take a few minutes, look at the script, go get them that. They called it the Morris Day script or something. It's a really good book. I encourage you guys to. I hope I'm not spoiling it. But gives him the script, and then he's like, man, I need more time. So Quincy Jones walks him in the back in the library and talks to him and was like, well, how much time do you need? And he was like, I need a week. And he was like, well, in a week, this executive is going to be doing this. He's going to be probably doing this, da, 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 da. And he's like, okay. And he's like, well, what about 2 weeks? And he was like, well, if you take 2 weeks, this executive is going to be doing et cetera, et cetera. He might go to his kid's game and he, basically telling him in so many words. And he said this, that everybody who needs to say yes is here right now. And he was like, the answer or the next move you make can change the rest of your life. And at that time, he was like, so what's it going to be? And Will Smith was like, fuck it, give me 10 minutes. And smacked it, and that, changed the whole trajectory of his career, launched his Hollywood career and all that good stuff. So, and it was at that time, I'm bringing it full circle because it was at that time that Quincy Jones that, what he said to Quincy Jones kind of, what it do, Kenneth? What's up, Tanisha? He said what Quincy Jones' specialty is that he saw magic in everybody. He saw, interesting things about everybody he ran into. And one of the things that he specialized in was getting you to move the rock so that you could really expose your greatness, right? Because we all put a rock over ourselves to where, it's not the world, it's us. You know what I'm saying? It's not, the world is doing this to us. It's our mental, a lot of times, often use the example of the elephant, right? Who was trained from a grasshopper or from a small infant with something around his leg and didn't even realize as he grown up, he was so powerful, he can just rip this thing off. But because he's been mentally conditioned, otherwise he didn't believe it. And that's, a lot of times what our limitations are our mental conditioning. What have we been conditioned to believe about ourselves, right? Can we do something, right? What does our environment say? What does our history say? What does our parents' history say? A lot of people have role models and blueprints to follow. My dad was a construction worker. I'm going to be a construction. My dad played football. I'm playing football. You know what I mean? They got this path lined out. But for many of us, we had to create and kick down our own doors and create our own individual identities, right? And goals and, and dreams. And it's hard. It's really hard, to maintain a certain level of optimism that we have to. We, as entrepreneurs, we have to have an insane level of optimism, right? To the point to where, are you real? Nah, man, I can't believe in reality. I can't. Because reality would tell me so many things of why I can't do what I'm doing right now. Right. So, what we're talking about tonight isn't just that, right? We're talking about blessings inventory, which kind of tying it full circle. And I was talking about Jay Prince, right? And he talked about how he has a book of answered prayers, right? And I just saw the homegirl, Natalie Goucher. She did a video. You guys should follow her too. She's dope. She did a video on a prayer jar and an answered prayer jar, right? Like moving one over, right? You got one where you're steady putting your prayers in, and as they become answered, you're moving them into another jar, So that's a strategy that you can do, and it's an important strategy because you want to take inventory of what's working, right? It's just like showing you how and the way things work. I'll give you guys one prime example, and also ties it full circle to the importance of reading. I got interested in Bruce's Beach when I heard about the travesty of the land being taken in Manhattan Beach, about Bruce's Beach, and I prayed on that. I used to say it all the time. Whenever I would pass by, I would pray, I'm like, giving them their land back. And I'm not saying that my prayer did it, but I know that I did pray for that to happen, right? And some of my prayers don't get answered. Don't get me wrong. And they just I may not think they're being answered, right? Because interpretation is crazy, right? Because that's one thing that Will Smith said in that book is the way we interpret this world is through logic, and this universe isn't designed logically, right? So miracles can happen just like that out of nowhere. Miraculous things. I keep telling everybody, I'm like, God is still in the miracle business. He did not start selling milk and soda, right? So don't think that he switched businesses and now he's moving cars and flipping cars and houses. Nah, that's not, God didn't switch it up. So you got to ask for more, right? And a lot of times that's what I was meaning when I tied a full circle about Jay Prince is you have to ask for more. You want those type of blessings, ask for them. Right? It's not out of reach. It's out of reach for maybe some people in your circle. Right? They may have limitations that they have put in place, and that's because of conditioning, right? It's not, a lot of times it's not their fault. So don't be totally upset with someone if they don't see your vision. Right? They may not have been exposed to things to where they can even think that wide, right? They may be more of a narrow, and that's just because of what they've been exposed to. So you can't trip off of that. Right. So a lot of times what we need to do is we need to continue to focus on what's going good for us and count it and write it down the way we write down BS, or the way we write down, we documenting and taking notes on how somebody did us wrong. But we're not documenting, taking notes on how God is blessing us every day. Man, the car works. Whoa, winning. Man, I got this space. And you can start to anticipate these good things happen and start to think blessings into your life. That's the crazy part about it. If you want certain blessings, you can actually think these things into existence. I know it sounds crazy, and I know I don't have a gimmick and all that stuff. I get it. And a lot of times the things that I talk about seem far off, man. Because you can't wrap your brain around it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Because you can't understand the how doesn't mean it's not going to happen. The how is not your concern. That's the crazy part about it. And we try because we're such, ego driven. I can do it myself. I've done it myself, and get it out the mud, right? This is the whole thing now. Get it out the mud. Yeah, with God's help, right? You can't get it out the mud without God giving you a shovel, period. So, I mean, I know, and you'll hear, the gangsterest, richest cats all say the same thing. God. Period. Puff. You can go Puff, Jay-Z, Jay Prince. All of them talk about God because you know what time it is. You're like, man, I already know where I was at. I know what I was doing. I know how he will pull me out, made me see things that a lot of people can't see, right? Where it doesn't make sense to the average person. It's not logical, right? We have to think according to these universe, which has no restrictions. And that's the crazy part about it. The universe has none, no limitations and no restrictions. So anything is possible, right? Anything. So even when you try to talk to realists, yeah, man, well, you can't, that's impossible. You don't know what can happen, right? You don't know who can know who and how it can happen just like that in a matter of seconds. So that's why I tell you guys constantly show up. At least my advice and my experience within this last few years, show up and work these relationships, and not work them to the sense that you're looking for a benefit. Your blessing is going to come from God. Don't look for it immediately and don't look for it from man. Right? Let me just be clear on those two things. Don't look for it immediately and don't look for it from man. You do, you're going to be disappointed. Because God's time has nothing to do with man's construct of time. Because this is a construct. This is something that man developed in order to track things, right? But God works on his own time. Bamboos, trees, things grow and fruit comes. Fruit isn't immediate. Chickens aren't immediate. That's some of the things that they're doing now to speed up the process. But God's process is slow. Watching the Will Smith documentary, that Earth thing on I think it's on Disney Plus, where he's talking about something that grows an inch every 1,000 years. And I was like, when you put that in perspective, that's God's time. It's his own. Your dream might pop when you're 60. So you can't stop watering, You can't stop giving it faith. You can't stop speaking life into it. People gonna think you nuts. You still going after that dream? Yeah. What else am I gonna do? You have another option? Give up. For what? It might pop. I don't know when. Right? It's like trying to predict a volcano. I don't. It's gonna. I'm not the same. Oh, what is it? The geyser or whatever. You can't predict exactly when things are gonna pop for you. Divine time is on its own clock. It has nothing to do with one, two, three, and whatever somebody else is doing. Because a lot of times where we miss blood, like counting our inventory, where we skip over stuff, is when we're counting somebody else's inventory. Right? When we're looking at somebody else's bag, oh, well, he got such and such by 40. That means I need to have my own place by 40. I need to have a house or such and such by this day. Why? Because everybody else got it by this. I remember when when my age was getting houses and stuff, and like fresh out of damn near out of high school. Oh man, such and just bought a house, got married. These prison guards and all this. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to catch up. I'm not even realizing, man. God got it, man. You like, dude, if I showed you what you be like, you probably start thinking your stuff don't stink if I showed you what I got for you. So let me make you, you know what I'm saying? And that's, man, you feel me, Marcus? Hey, homie, it's going to. That's the thing. You can't give up, man. I had a, let me show you guys, man. I had a meme. Let me see if I can show him. I had a meme of this cat, man. He's called the Fry Guy. No, he's called, I'm sorry, Mr. Fries Man. Let me show you. And I the reason why I posted him is because it was, let me see if I can show it to you guys. It was interesting to see how he started. And one of the things I suggest you guys do, this is a little secret. If you see somebody you see is successful, go to their Instagram and go to their first post or go to their first few posts, because what you're going to see is how it started, right? So, where is it? Chrome tab. So let me share this with you guys. And what I'm sharing is a kind of before and after picture of how he started. And this cat's got like a bunch of franchises now, and probably like 10. And the way you set up franchise, you guys should know the game, is you charge, a fee or whatever the case may be for them to set up, and you get royalties every month, et cetera, et cetera. So he's got like 10 of them. And this is how he started. You can see on the left is how he started, and this is how his fries now. He got one in Vegas. He got them all over the place. And my whole point is how it's starting is not how it's going to end up. Bottom line, and you got to start somewhere, right? It ain't no telling when it's going to happen. But he didn't quit. He kept going. He believed in himself, right? Worked on it. You can see on one side he got cheese, like grated cheese that didn't really melt that well. On the right side, he's got cheese sauce. He figured it out, right? I know I'll be on my restaurant stuff, but that's what I'm on right now. Even though I got my hair stuff, I'm wearing my hair stuff. You guys, hustle doesn't stop, homie. So, oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. All right. So you guys get my point. You can't you can't stop, right? You got to believe in yourself and every day get a little bit better. I'll let you guys know my progress. I'm starting to make some progress on my research experiment, so I got some feedback. Should be getting in something pretty soon, and I'll be giving you guys an update. So people giving me an opportunity, which I really appreciate, going there and learn what I need to learn about running the management side of things, and then you guys will see some stuff coming up. So working on some stuff, but humbling myself in the process. And man, I'm getting better at the blessings that I have, right? Getting better at recognizing them, man, because appreciation is going to get you more points. Period. Counting them, not sitting up there looking at God like, man, this is, because a lot of times what happens is we look at our position like, man, and the only reason we looking at our position the way we looking at it is because we're looking at someone else's position and seeing it as being better than ours. But a lot of times it can be our weight. It can be the way we look like, man, well, you trying to compare yourself to somebody when why put yourself through that? Because there's somebody else comparing themselves to you. Somebody else saying, damn, D over there killing it. D, and I'm over here looking to like, man, dude over here killing it. And we all looking to the right instead of looking at ourselves and recognizing the jewels that we have, the jewels that God is providing us on a daily basis, the opportunity to thrive, the internet, right? Look at all these small things, refrigerator, ice. I can go on and on. I've been to the pen, so I can go on and on, right? This like your blessings are real. And then, and that's the way you get more. God, good looking out, man. This water was fire. And you just walk around with just a aura of appreciation for everything in life. You ever been around somebody like that? That energy that just permeates throughout the entire room. You just like, my God, I want to be excited about life like that. And you can. All you got to do is start counting, man. Lights on. Especially if you've been somewhere where the lights been off, man, the heater been off. You got to take cold showers. Like, it should be easy to appreciate it if you scrape the bottom a little bit, which some of us all have. So I encourage you to look. Let's start looking. What do we got? What inventory, right? A lot of times we don't count on black. We like, man, shit, I don't have this, man. My car, your car. Some people ain't, man, they doing the bus. Man, I gotta walk. Some cats wish they can get out the wheelchair, homie. So I mean, it's all perspective, right? It's not always just about, oh man, look in your bag. What you got? Man, you got a sandwich though? Man, it's just what? Some people like, man, I'll take the edges. I'll take just the taste of from the bag. It's all perspective. And that's the thing. Like, we thinking we're not blessed. Oh man. Some people throw it around loosely, like blessed and highly favored, and they turn around and complain. Like, are you blessed? Or are you just telling people that? Man, I don't have to keep telling you I'm blessed. I'm like, man, you see the look on my face, right? That should say it all. Do I look upset? And it doesn't matter what situation it is, because I've realized that no matter what the illest situation, God has always yanked me out of it, scraped me off, and got me polished up every single time, and gave me exactly what I wanted. Man, I had to take you through the mud. I had to take you through the mud so I can rinse you off. Period. But you had to know what the mud felt like so you can tell other people, right, that this wasn't easy. I had to lean on God. This wasn't anything I just did by myself, me and my bare hands. I handcrafted my life, right? Yeah, all right. Me and God been in the lab. Yeah, me and God. And he's probably done the majority of the heavy lifting, right? I just needed to have faith. I just needed to continue to believe. I just needed to continue to try. I just needed to continue to tap into my greatness, which is there, right? And a lot of times you need somebody to spark it within you, right? Because there's so much wind and destruction and distraction that is blowing your little candle out or making it hard for it to really flicker, right? Because you got all this noise, people blowing, man, can't even know when you try to light a blunt or something, you just can't even, you like, man, this wind is, that's how cats be on your flicker, Mike, your little flame. They doing the same thing. That wind is just coming and humming at you. How you gonna get it going? You need to get some oxygen, or you need to get away from the wind. One or the two. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got enough oxygen, you can handle the wind. But if you don't, you got to get away from it so you can light your stuff or at least keep the fire going. Because people would try to put it out on a regular basis and tell you how you taking L. Damn, really? Man. So you got to start counting, right? You buy you a small book right? And you think you can't, man. You got a roof over. All right, start with the roof. You want to figure out your blessings, to start with the roof, right? You got one? Okay. Next, start with the heat. Gas work, cool. Pilots, because it's us that goes in there and looks and says, we have nothing to eat. Man, ain't nothing to eat in here. You tell somebody else that, man, they clean you out. You kidding me? Right? So it's all perspective, right? And our blessings. We got to start counting them, man. Even the smallest ones, man, my kids are good. They walking straight. Yeah, they get on my nerves on certain things, but I know I'm overreacting. I probably should be doing. And you start checking yourselves and start counting like, damn, I'm good. My TV works, man. I saw Monday Night Football, even though my team is trash. Who cares? I can watch TV. I ain't in no room where everybody share one damn channel. And those who've been there know what I'm talking about. We got a day we watch with all together. We vote. It's Black Day. Man, anybody been there? Feel me on that one. So that's a blessing, having that freedom, being able to boop, 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 control my destiny. I can learn what I want to learn. That's the biggest blessing. I have choice. I can choose. I can choose to do this. I can choose to do that. I can choose to go exercise. I can choose to pick up this book, which is going to lead me to something else, and lead me to the thought that very well may change my entire life. And that's what I'm looking for, those magical moments that God has intended for me, because they're here, right? The magic stuff, not the little whatever, the stuff you like, oh, that lottery, right? That stuff that's really going to change your life, everybody's life in your family, right? We're talking about franchise. I'm about to go learn about franchising. I have a bigger picture, and I'll humble myself. I'll go take out trash, wash tables, wash dishes to learn something that's going to put my family in a different trajectory. I'm not stopping anything, man. My goals are getting bigger and hairier, right? They always say, had that moonshot, that big, hairy, audacious goal. You have to have one. I got a few of them, and I'm trying to execute on all of them, right? I'm on some. Once I talked to Jay Prince, I was good. I was like, God got to confirm. He told me right then and there. Laugh like we've been knowing each other for years, because that was God sent. That's who sent him, because he's God based. And when I asked for something, he knew I was genuine. Little small podcast out of nowhere. Cats won't even return my emails. This dude did. Boop, here. Half an hour, my time, worth easily a couple $1 million. Easily. At least 100 grand. You feel me? And he gave it to me and told me about his prayer book. Right? A book of answered prayers, meaning that he prayed for this stuff and God came through for him. So why are we asking for more? I'm asking for a chain of them. I keep talking about Seattle and Salt Lake City. Weekly tap in. You feel me? Oh, you feel me? That's what I'm on. Trying to figure it out, trying to see how I can get more. I went up there, and when we went to Seattle, I saw Ezel's Chicken. This cat got them all in Idaho, and I was inspired. I was like, oh, it's on. God's showing me the vision. Where do you want to pop up at? Okay, well, let me work on my own backyard first. Let me own this. And here, all part of the journey. All this is chapter 6, 7, all that. That's the exciting part about it. Each one of our little steps that we take that we think is a misstep or a good step is a chapter in our book. This is an experience that you're going to pass on to people. This is part of your legacy. So take some damn chances, and not on a dice game with somebody you don't trust. Take some chances with God, man. He got a bigger bag. If you're going to shoot some dice, why not shoot it with God? If you're going to bet the foe, why not bet it with God? Why would you do it with somebody else that can't deliver the way God can? And God going to give you a fade back anyway. Even if you take the L, he's going to triple it back anyway. So why not shoot dice with God? Why not? If you're going to gamble, why everybody, I'm going to go to Vegas. And you got a betting fade right here that's saying, shoot, homie, T. Lee. Last time you heard that one, right? T. Lee, homie. God saying, keep telling you, T. Lee. T. Lee, homie. What's happening? And oh man, I'm straight. I'm gonna go to Vegas. Vegas? What? And you won't want to gamble with him who can pay you more? Ain't gonna give you a fade back. Man, I'm taking my chances with God. What you want to do, God? What we betting on? What we doing? You call the bet. Whatever you say, I'm riding with. And they give you instruction, and the universe to confirm it. That's the beauty in it, man. That confirmation from the universe that you're on the right path because things start to magically move out their way. Almost like when they talk about dude that parted the Red Sea. He's still doing that kind of shit. It just may not be a Red Sea. It may be something different. It may be a boss. It may be another obstacle that he moves out the way. It may be an enemy that he moves out the way. But he's still parting seas. It just may not be the way that they saw it. This is still cropping, right? This is what I tell people. I'm like, man, you ain't gotta do all that. You can just pay attention to what's going on around you, right? And you'll see miracles happening every day. Miracle of life, the miracle of things that you think are luck, things that you see people happening for people. You don't know why their blessings coming to them. You weren't in the trenches with them, right? You weren't in the faith when it got ugly and they still had faith. You weren't there praying with them. So you don't know where they're at in that stage of the process. God don't forget about anybody. Everybody gets a chance, right? But until you blow it. Now your karmic debt is your karmic debt, period. So make sure it's clean. That's why you can't be out there doing people wrong, even on a smaller scale. You blocking your blessings. Even the thought, hating on somebody. And we all get our moments to where we a little bit envious. You're like, damn, why not me? I get it. We're human. That's a human emotion. But we got to check it, right? When we be in I just posted something about that today. I said, if the idea or response is petty, then it wasn't from God. Try again. Period. And if you got a response to where you feeling like you salty, crusty, your face is frowned up when you're about to do it, that's not a God intention. So the aftermath, the gift you're getting from that is not going to be good. The fruit, you planting with the wrong foundation, you putting the wrong fertilizer, the fruit gonna be trash from that, right? So you got to plant good seeds. Even if you're feeling a little bit salty, you got to water that down, homie. Right? You feeling like you want to get back at somebody. You feeling like you want to take God's position, man. That's a heavy load. You feeling like you want to be karma. Karma's more precise than you. Karma's more balanced than you. So let karma do it more effective than you. So you don't play that game. You know what I'm saying? Count your blessings. Even if you take a L. I've seen people take L's and take matters into their own hands. Oh, and they got the revenge. I killed him. Man, now you got all day, homie. Now what? Now what you gonna do? You feel me? Now what's possible? Nothing. As long as you got your two hands, your freedom, a way to think, the internet, the possibilities are endless, right? Let's work with God. Let's see what he got. Let's see what he got. Let's see how I can help. Let me try. What does it hurt to send a prayer out there? Let me pray for something and then start to work for it and then look for it. Not from an expectation standpoint, like you expected, like you're entitled, but look for the messages, look for the instructions, look for the confirmations, because they'll be in random places, almost like if you've ever been to like an escape room or something like that. The clues are everywhere, right? You just got to be paying attention, right? You got to start to look at the pattern. What is God trying to tell me? Is he trying to push me towards it? Is he trying to get me to go take another way of getting there? Right? Because if the seed wouldn't be planted if it wasn't from God in the first place, right? I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what was going on. You understand? So that's the connection with God. Once the seed is planted, I don't care when, it could be in your childhood. Once the seed is planted, it's there. It's that light is there. You just got to find the oxygen. You just got to find the fertilizer. Once you begin that process, you got to consistently water it every single day. And it might be certain days you may have more water than others. I get it. You know what I mean? Your cup may not be full on this day, but you still got to water. And you still got to believe, even if you don't have a lot that day, that God's going to fill your cup up the next day. Because a lot of times we on empty and we got to let God know. And he may be busy. He may send somebody else to fill your cup up. May not be him directly. Because a lot of times we looking for some dude in a robe and the white light, and it may be our 3-year-old that comes shoot you the gift from God and the message that you needed to hear, right? It may be a random person walking down the street, right? Because that's how God works. He use any and everybody and everything, right? Period. so so look for miracles. Expect that, but don't be to the point to where, man, because expectation leads to disappointment. And if we expect our lives to look like somebody else's, we're going to be disappointed. Our life is unique, man. Our ups and downs are ours. We need to own them. Same way we need to own our blessings, right? We need to count them. The second thing we need to do is we need to show appreciation. We need to be thankful, right? We need to treat things as if we really appreciate them. And that's people. People, relationships, are things, right? Not to the point to where we're infatuated with material things. Don't get no. But we're to the point to where we appreciate it, right? Man, glad to have this. Like I got a Camry, man. Love my Camry. Period. Love it. Got Bluetooth. It's comfortable. That I'm not in a hurry. Right? When I get it, okay, I want a Silverado at some point. Cool. Whenever I get to that point, that'll be what I get, and I'll make it a work truck. You know what I mean? So, but that's it. I'm not. I told my wife, I said, we got it good. I said, we don't need much more than that. Because a lot of times you ever been to the point to where you think you need something, and when you get it, you're disappointed. You're like, oh, this is it? Like, yeah, man, I want it. I wanted a lobster, I don't know, burrito, just so much lobster. You're like, man, shit is low key nasty. There's there's a point to there's a limit to everything, right? You can't just pig out on everything, and that includes whatever excess. So you got to take things, like be careful what you ask for. A lot of times, actors and actresses, they want the publicity. They want the publicity until they get it. And they're like, oh, leave me alone. What? So you got to be careful and be cool with. I love, the space I have. I don't need a 50-foot mansion because then I'll have to sell a 50-foot mansion. Right? To somebody who else thinks they need a 50-foot mansion. Right? You start to think these things, and I was reading that with Will Smith, he bought these toys. He was buying Benzes and Vets and all this stuff, and it didn't contribute to his happiness. So you got to buy more of it. It's almost like a drug. You got to keep buying it until you're trying to get that high, and it ain't there, right? Accomplishments. We can do the same thing with accomplishments. I'm not saying we're immune to that. We can fall in love with accomplishment, and that can be a drug, an addiction. So we got to be careful of what we do in excess anyway. We got to try to live as much of a balanced life as we possibly can. That means with family. It means a connection with your spirituality. It means your physical, making sure that you're going outside and you're playing. As adults, we don't do that enough. We just work and go. I'm not talking to my students. We just work and go home, professor. Man, you guys are old already. So what makes everybody guarantee that they get in retirement? Everybody just automatically like, that's in the books. So when I get my Social Security, man, you sure you gonna make it? You might want to enjoy some stuff now. You know what I'm saying? That's the way, and that's completely, I don't want to push that on anybody, but that's the way I live life. You got to enjoy the now, period. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is promised. So you got to be happy with the blessings, man. God, good looking out for today, man. I appreciate that. It was solid. Man, today was good. Why? Because I got a chance to just ride down the coast. When I was going to pay a bill that I didn't want to pay, I took the long route and took the beach route. So I'm two blessings, and I appreciate God. One, I was able to pay the bill. that I probably think I didn't want to pay, but I certainly enjoyed the service. Two, I got the freedom to ride up and down the coast. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at a lot of the things that we have and just start, man, give a shot of, man, God, good looking. Thank you. Man, food was amazing. Thank you. Sit, count them. Write that down. Dinner, man, God, make sure my pantry's on stuff. God, make sure my refrigerator got a little something in there. God, make sure I was able to just wake up, go to sleep and wake up and I was warm. Right? Because he may not, you may be working on getting back your big blessings, right? So it may take a minute. But it's the little time he want to see how you act when it's ugly, though. Remember, I told you guys last week about the uglies, right? So yeah, it's all when everything is good, it's easy to count your blessings. But what about when it's hairy and ugly? Right? And that's when your blessings will come and start talking to you. When you salty, you in that mood, you like, man, everything going against me. Your blessings will start coming up, knocking you in the face. Like, hey, homie, hey. You're like, oh yeah, I am married. Oh, I do got some kids. And you start to look at the more important things in life and realize that your blessings come in all different shapes and sizes. It's not just a whip. It's not just a 20-inch rim. I mean, I'm saying 20 like I'm 20 years ago. Whatever size they own now, I don't know. But it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It may be that, but you got to add more to your life. From my perspective, right? That stuff lasts that long and it get old and unshiny and you got to keep it up. So back to our blessings. Count them, write them down, find some way to track them. How do you know? How do you know if these are coming true or not? If you're not tracking them, it's not that difficult to track your blessings. It's not that difficult. You can get a pad out and start writing all night. You don't think God? That's like a love letter to God. Your blood, like you showing him what's possible. And the stuff that actually happened, the miracle stuff that happened, man, I was whoop-de-wham. Now I'm teaching. I remember they told me this. Now I'm doing this. I remember they said I couldn't do this. Now, and all you doing is just documenting God's miracles. That's it. You document God's miracles, showing proof that this is possible. Leaving scrolls, homie. All right, leaving scrolls for people to find. Yeah, man, we might not be wearing sandals and robes now. You know what I'm saying? It might be something different, but the miracles have still popping. You got to ask. You got to tap in. Period. They are still popping. It's those who believe. You see it, you see it. You don't. You don't. You believe, you don't believe, you're right. Either case, you're right. You're dead. You're absolutely right. I don't see it. Okay. I do. And we both standing in the same spot. So it's all about perspective. You know what I mean? But it's all about blessings and we all receiving them. If we're sitting here today and we're actually listening to this, man, we got blessings beyond blessings, right? Like what Big Sean said. Oh, it was one of my favorite songs. Talks about blessings, man. That's a spiritual brother right there. He gets it. Once you connect with the universe and you start to understand the way it works, man, you like turn into you programming stuff. You looking, well, what do I actually want to do? I don't know. Let me try this, and you turn into a magician. Stuff just start poof, chicks, rabbits. You can start creating whatever you want. I know it sounds mythical and weird, but the more you tap into it, like this relationship, you like this cat is the hookup. He gives you exactly what you want. Like, damn, man, I've been sitting there talking to these other cats all these years as opposed to talking to him. What? And you start to see, man, when you go back and you do an inventory, you're black. He like, damn, okay, look, damn, I asked for this, I got it. Damn, okay, I asked for that, I got it. I asked for this, I got it. Damn, I actually got the same color I asked for. And you start to go on and on and on. You like, what? Miracle already happened for you. And you saying, man, because you're talking to somebody who doesn't recognize their own blessings. Right? When you're talking to somebody who doesn't recognize their own blessings, they're gonna have you start to question yours. Damn, is this really a blessing? Yeah, because you're talking to somebody who don't recognize what they have. That's the problem. Everybody needs a lessons on blessings. Period. And that's what God's in the business of. Blessings. So, right, if you need lessons on how to live a better life, be happy for the one that you are currently residing in. Trust me, it could be different. It could be worse. Sure, it could be better from perceptually. We thinking, oh, I perceive this to be better. Doesn't necessarily mean it is. All right. Just because somebody's more financially strapped than you, there might be other problems. They may have problems downstairs. There may be all kind of you don't know what's going on. So you think, oh man, all I need is what. Yeah, you thinking that. So you just be happy with the cards you've been dealt. Right. We talked about that last week, man. He can give you all hearts. Spade gang. Gotta give you all hearts. You looking at the next man like, damn, man, you got all spades. But if this fool don't know how to play them right, depends on what books are running on at the last end, right? If he plays all the spades up front, he done. I'm just telling you, right? So everything's situational. Gotta make it work. You be like, man, I had all hearts, man. And I ran a Boston. Impossible. Right. Right. You feel me? Exactly. That's my point. It's supposed to be impossible. He's in the miracle business. If it was possible, it wouldn't be a damn miracle. So let's stay in the impossible business. What do you think is out of your reach? What do you think you can achieve? Reach for it any damn ways, right? Reach for it anyways. You don't know, he might be around the corner that day. Like, man, you ever caught a plug and he right around the corner? Like, remember that back in the day where you caught a plug and man, I'm right down the street. I got it with me. What? Oh, you feel me? And that's how God is. I'm right down the street and I got it with me. Oh, do you? Okay, pull up. So why are we asking for more, man? What you got, man? Let me get it all, right? Because God got it. And I always want to tie that in, man. I'm like, man, ask for more, man. Why not ask for more? I'm asking for Seattle, Salt Lake, Dallas. Might mess around in Kansas. Dig? That's where I'm on. Houston for sure, and it's competitive as I don't know what, but we ain't out there yet. I feel like I compete with the best of them. Period. I got that confidence, and I got God driving. He like, man, he's like one of them cats. He like, man, I'm riding with this dude. I don't shoot. Ain't nothing we can't crack, right? We pull up in this car, ain't nothing we can't knock down. And that's how I feel with God. And when we pull up on them goals, man, we feel the same, just as confident. Ain't nothing we can't knock down. Let's go get it, guy. Period. What you want to do? He telling me, write it down, killer. Give me the directions. Shoot me a text and where we headed. No problem. We about to build a chicken empire. For real? Okay, yeah. All right, got you. Let me set you up. Cool. You about to do that? Yeah. Why? I don't know. I got a feeling about it, man. I want to build a legacy for my mother. What a great way to do it. As long as my intention is pure. Period. Didn't say we was gonna get rich and famous and we're gonna be nah, no, no, no. We building a legacy on customer service and excellence. Period. You dig? So that's where my mentality is now. I'm counting blessings, man. Everything down to my time, my experiences, my relationships. I'm appreciating all of them now, man. I ain't taking nobody for granted because I realize everybody's a gift and a jewel to me. They're a blessing. My relationships, my interactions with you guys on this podcast. That's a blessing to me. Listeners all over the world. We got listeners all over the world. I promise you. Blessing to me. Sponsors, blessing. Fact that we own iTunes, everything where you can get a podcast, blessing. Education, blessing. Khan Academy, homie. I'm still on my geometry. I'm almost done with that. We're doing perpendicular angles now, right? I know the area of a square, prism, uh, uh, angles. I can do equations on that stuff that I couldn't do before because I didn't do geometry. I'm on now. Shout out to Khan Academy. You too can learn anything that you're missing, or go back and listen to that one where we talk about filling the missing parts. Because if your foundation has holes in it, man, it will be exposed. So go fill it while it's free. This is free education. You can knock it down with ease on your own time. It's right on my phone. I just pop it open. Boom. So it's sitting there. Let me pop it open real quick. Okay. And I learn. And when I make mistakes, it goes back. I watch a video, shows me hand, okay, this and that. And I figured out circumference, how to use pi, all that stuff that I missed. And I'm about to venture into something else that's going to make me even better. And I think it's for me, but it's really to help my son when he gets up to high school. Because a lot of us haven't taken this stuff in years, and we won't be the support system that they need to thrive. So why not tighten your skills up right now? Learn from somebody else, which is another one of my philosophies. Learn for your friends and your family. It's not for you. You learning Spanish, yeah, it may help you, but it's really going to help them, right? So always think about how to help others, and the best way to help people in your circle is to become a better individual. That will conclude the weekly tap in for this week. Certainly hope you guys appreciate it. I'm still reading my Will Smith book. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the like if you're seeing us on Facebook so that you do not miss another episode. Make sure you give our sponsors a shout out. We certainly appreciate you. We will probably do one more before the New Year's, but we're going into season 3, man. We've been putting it down, so we appreciate the support. God bless you guys. Make sure you guys, if you have any questions specifically related to business, send us an email or send us, make sure you put it in the comments, man. We'll try to answer it on the next one. God bless. Peace. I'm tapping out.